Radio check. There.
Hello and welcome back to Radio Check You There. I'm Melissa.
I'm Chelsea.
And we are back with another book club episode. Now, don't worry, Race Recaps will be back next week. But in the meantime, we will be talking about Elisabeth Oliver's book, Overtaken. We have it on the Kindle, but we do want, or at least I do. But we want to say thank you, big thank you to Elisabeth for sending us EPUB copies of your book over to us. And we just cannot wait to start kicking about it. So let's just get started with the book synopsis. So again, spoiler free afterwards. Be gone.
This is your chance.
Yep, there you go. So we got 5-time Formula One World Driver Championship champion Loic Chalamieux. The last name reminds me of Timothy's last name, so I am so sorry.
That works.
For my pronunciation, I am probably way off. It's okay. I'm very sorry. But he essentially decided to trade the weird shaped tracks for the oval tracks of IndyCar. And he decides to leave the series overall and just make the switch to win the Indy 500. That's pretty much why he leaves. He's just like, time for a change. I get it. Respect. Of course, once he arrives to his new team, DR, everyone is excited for Loic's arrival. And I mean, who doesn't blame them, right? Except for one of his mechanics, Cam Wexford. She is a sister of Loic's former rival, and essentially she just decides to go under the radar and even goes to the lengths of using the fake last name so he doesn't recognize her. But slowly she realizes that she has feelings for Loic and that he might too.
And I will say, I don't think there's any trigger warnings in this story if you're interested in reading. Maybe content warning. Just a lot of history with like family disconnection and past trauma, plus family loss references for parents. So just something to keep in mind before you jump into it if you don't like to read that.
Yeah. It wasn't,
but
yeah.
No triggering, I think. I hope. Might be wrong.
I was gonna say, at least for me it wasn't, but everyone
like this is a personal opinion.
Yeah. So if anything like that with family could possibly, just do something, just tread lightly. That's all.
Yeah. I will say though, it does have a lot of good characters. At least to me, I really love the storylines that we saw from each main character. So when you're reading the story, I would say Loic has like an ambitious storyline. He's the main male character, like Mel said. But then for the girl, Cam, she's really just finding her confidence like throughout the storyline, building her like family relationship again, because it is kind of non-existent at the beginning of the story. So for me, I liked following both their storylines.
Yeah, with Cam, I agree. It's like kind of like her like, I don't want to say like self-discovery, but like she's really like coming like to herself, or just like learning more about herself and like being more accepting of it, but also like a little bit of like feminism.
Yeah, I can see that.
There. Yeah, I mean, like it wasn't a lot, but it was enough, again, at least to me. And like Cam definitely was like aware of her being a female in
Formula One. I mean, in IndyCar racing.
In IndyCar, the only one, as she says, I think like the only mechanic, but like I think she's like probably like one of the few, and she even goes into detail how like there's certain things and all that stuff, but there's like the barriers. Like she's so aware of like the barriers, but she's also just like kind of accepting of them, where she's just like, I mean, like there's really nothing I can do, but like
she's just very realistic about what it is.
Exactly. She's just like, I mean, I've said stuff, but like nothing happens, and it is what it is. And but like Loic is just like, it's not okay, which I give him credit. We're gonna get into this, but like,
right.
He was also just like, no, like this is not okay. Like he definitely was aware of the. At least it seemed like he was aware of the privilege that he had as a male to get.
He used it very well.
He did. He definitely did.
I will say.
Yeah.
It was a hit or miss, but he used it very well.
Yeah.
I will say one of the first things I loved about the book, because obviously if you're listening, you know this is we usually just read about Formula One, but um, we really changed course doing IndyCar racing. I personally do not follow IndyCar racing in real life. I kind of do a little bit with McLaren Aero, but like I don't know enough to say I watch it. And
Meg
Loic's,
does.
yeah, like Meg should have read this book.
I actually thought of her.
Because I mean it is really interesting. Like Loic's storyline is just feeling finished with F1 is what I imagine. And like I feel like that's very realistic for a lot of drivers right now that either have, or not right now, but drivers in the past that have gotten the championship win, and then it's kind of like, well, what do I do next? I did the big thing. And then reading how Elisabeth explains IndyCar within that was extremely helpful, because I don't really know much. And this is so funny to say, but we always read F1 and we never really need the references. So we're just like, yeah, this is good. And I feel like, I'm not going to lie, I kind of overlook a lot of the more educational parts of those books because I'm like, I already know this, whatever. But now reading it from the point of view of someone who's completely lost, I was like, oh, I really like how you're explaining this to me, because we're just moving on, but at least I now know what we're talking about, which makes me feel better as a reader.
No, yeah, I completely agree with you on that. Like, the way she made Cam explain like how certain parts of the whole I didn't know it was like a whole like 1-2 week thing.
I didn't know that either. Like, I didn't know a lot of it, to be honest.
I did, yeah. I mean, same as you. I came with this like at like not even bare minimum. Like, I'm zero knowledge. I only know like McLaren, and I think like Mick is racing. That's it. That's all.
Yeah,
that's all I know. Sorry, but the way she explained it was just like nice, quick, and short to the point, without getting too much into detail where it can get kind of like confusing. But again, like I wasn't lost. But I'm still like fascinated how they do qualifying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was kind of fascinated by how they do everything, because it's so different from Formula One. Like, I kind of understand why people get into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially since it's only really in the United States, which makes it more accessible to the fans. But even then, I was just like, oh, this is what
it's also cheaper for fans. I know that.
Yeah.
Like, you can actually get access into the paddock and meet these drivers, and it's like a tenth of the cost for Formula One.
Right. Like,
Stu. Right. I get the appeal.
Same.
I understand that.
Same here.
And then I will say Cam's character was really interesting to me. Like, throughout her story of, I do agree, feminism, and also just kind of like self-finding, not really confidence, but more like boundaries and like being able to set them. I liked her to an extent. The only thing that threw me off was how much she allowed for the white knight savior complex that Loic had for like majority of the book. That I feel like overshadowed what could have been some of more personal growth from her, and like defending herself instead of him having to do everything. But I do like that I'm getting pissed throughout reading this book, right? And I do like that at some point Elisabeth points it out. She does talk about it later in the book between Loic's character and Cam's, and he's like, and they're like, yeah, you aren't being a white like knight, and I actually don't like it, because you gotta let me figure shit out at some point, especially if like this is my career that I'm supposed to be in for supposedly the rest of my life. I'm just saying, some of it I feel like she could have figured out on her own. It was so much faster with him.
And easier.
Yeah. Much less work, but maybe the self-growth would have come out of the work.
You know, exactly. Like, I remember like messaging Chelsea.
Yes.
I was going to say like texting Chelsea in one word about this. I don't know why, but Cam, like when I was like first reading the book, she was giving me like pick me vibes with some of the stuff she was saying, where it's just like I'm the only whatever. But of course, because I'm like a female, like something like that, where it's just like, okay, like I get it. You're the only... I mean,
there was like also little things like she doesn't like wearing makeup because
or like getting all done up, and it's just like, okay,
she doesn't care about getting done up. She didn't care about her nails. There was like something else mentioned that had to do with
like just like getting
the
like,
basic
nice...
female and not doing it kind of thing.
And then I was just like, I don't really care.
She couldn't talk to the marketing girls.
Yeah.
She like felt like she was like, she's like, I'm not girl enough for them, but like I'm not boy enough for these people. So she was just
And
like
it's just
awkward in the middle.
which is like, I get, because like she is in a tough spot.
Right.
But
And I do
just
imagine
felt
being
like,
the only mechanic is weird.
yeah. And like, again, not being a man, like you can't hang out with like your own coworkers, but then like technically your other coworkers, like you don't really, I don't know. It just like annoyed me a little bit because I was just like, it's okay, like to
I
be
do think that
different
also
and
gets
yeah.
broken down throughout the book, like her
Exactly.
pickiness.
Yeah.
Because she ends up meeting George. Is it Georgina?
No, Kimmy.
Right, Kimmy. She ends up meeting Kimmy, and I feel like Kimmy was such a stronghold, like friendship that she needed because she was like, I never really had a female friendship. And she sees Kimmy sitting with Mel. Mel is another character in the book. She's the marketing girl. And because she already has like so much openness with Kimmy from dealing with Loic, she's like, yeah, let me sit with you guys. I'm like, yes, this is the first step towards making female friendships. Like, you just have to be open.
Exactly.
So I really liked
exactly.
Kimmy and Mel's character. Even though Mel wasn't in there as much, every time she was, I was like, I like you.
But no, exactly. But this she did grow on me as like she changed throughout the story. So I feel like her character arc, I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my, sorry, something like popped off on the screen, and I'm like, whoa. But yeah, no, it just, again, that scene at the lunch table is really cute because it's just like, it's okay. Like everyone has like their little things. It's just a matter of just finding people who are okay with that. Loic, I don't know how to feel about him, to be honest. I liked him, but at the same time, him always wanting to just like save the day all the time.
Anyways, I think you can tell that Loic is like an interesting character because you can tell every time he does an action in the book to like save your complex, whatever, to like help her. He does mean well. He doesn't even expect anything back.
No, exactly.
He's not like, you're gonna go on a date with me now because I fixed the soaps in
Right.
the bathroom.
Right. No, he doesn't. He's literally doing it because out of the goodness of his heart and everything. But it's just like, we can help her out.
I think the problem was he wasn't very solution based. Like he was, but not like, how do I say it? Like he wasn't gonna build a solution. He was just like, easiest one, done. But if it was gonna help her like figure things out, he was like, that's too much work. I could just do it myself.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they could have co-worked together. You know, like I feel like in other books we've seen that the male character like do a meeting with like the president and be like, I've heard this stuff and I feel like we can all work together, blah blah. And he was like, nah, I just called him up.
Yeah.
Did it.
Yeah.
Done.
Like
she was never really in the room for any conversation that he fixed. Which would throw me off as a person.
Yeah.
Even if it is helpful.
Exactly, because it's just like, I involve me a little bit.
But again, I really like that their characters had that talk about the savior thing, because then he kind of realized, he was like, well, it just seems easier, but I get what you're saying. She was like, you gotta let me figure this shit out, especially with the sexism that was on the team. Like that wasn't for him to step into. Like she really had to figure that out.
100%. Yep, exactly.
Especially with the last name thing. Like, really?
Oh my God.
Tits McGee, and we're gonna let that go on for years, and then we're gonna tell this guy that's our last name. I get why we were trying to hide our identity. I like that storyline makes complete sense.
But the whole
to me.
time she could have just not even said her last name.
Well, no, remember the problem was that he assumed her last name because other people were calling her McGee.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes.
So he was just like, oh, like McGee, and she was like, actually, we'll go with that. But even then, I would have been like, no, Wilson.
Yeah. Just like freeze for a second.
But I guess it's kind of like that saying where like if you say the truth, then you don't have to really remember a lie. And like last name, like technically she is McGee, so she's like, whatever, I won't forget this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You would want something that
you're gonna answer to. But there was so much sexism, and then like what I love is it also wasn't really sexism. It was like a little bit of racism and like
it was a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and by the end of the book, we're all just like, okay, cut it out.
Right. That's not right. Yeah.
It had to happen. And I'm glad she did it.
Very glad.
Glad
It
she
was
did
like
it.
you said, it was just something that she had to do. Um,
Needed to be done.
it's yeah.
And I mean, the reason she is the way she is because of like really the family dynamics, which to be
Mm-hmm.
honest, throughout the whole book, they're a mess for both main characters. Cam doesn't really speak to her mom and brother after an accident that the brother causes when they're like, what, teens,
And
maybe?
yeah, it's like they were in Formula like 3000, like a feeder series, and
Yes.
essentially like her brother runs into Loic, and like essentially like Loic crashes, and
Yep.
the brother's like, yeah, I did that like on purpose, and he's like kicked out of the sport. And this was like pretty much the one and like mind you, at the same time Cam is doing like her karting stuff and everything too. So like she's hoping that they essentially like her and her brother had a deal during this time where if her I forgot what her brother's name is, but once her brother made into Formula if and when he made into Formula 1, like he pretty much was just going to like financially like support her and get her into Formula 1 or like somehow into the sport. But essentially like after that happened and he was kicked out and like came back to the States from Europe, shit hit the fan. And unfortunately, like she just couldn't do it anymore. She tried to go to
Yeah.
like school to like be an engineer, and she couldn't afford that anymore after like her father passed, because she had to help out with like work or like with bills and whatnot, because like her brother also wasn't, he became like a car salesman with his dad and wasn't doing good.
Basically became
The
a
poor
bum.
girl. Yeah. Yeah.
But I
And
mean,
so
I do like that we get the viewpoint from Loic later on in the book, which is
oh my god, I love how it's just like
everything was on your brother's shoulders. Like, of course, he might become very different after basically causing the most
mm-hmm.
traumatic event for the whole family because
Right.
he thinks he killed the father because of all the stress and the heart attack, and he
Mm-hmm.
sees that his sister can't do shit now, and the mom's really depressed because now she doesn't have a husband,
Mm-hmm.
and this
It's
guy
all
also
yeah.
like never apologized. So like that was another thing that really affected
Mm-hmm.
Cam because she's like, bro,
Yeah.
you're gonna do me dirty like this, and you're not even gonna apologize.
Yeah, exactly. Because at the end of the day, like I don't blame Cam for feeling the way she did towards her brother, because like
Right.
it was her dream
Yeah, it
as
was her
well,
future too.
you know, and she just didn't have the fair shot at it, and it was just like, and she even said like herself, like even if Loic like if even if like the accident didn't happen, like Loic was more, there was a higher chance of him going into like F1. So like if anything, her brother could have waited like an extra year and go into that level.
No, but the brother couldn't drive an extra year. That was their last year because of money.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, but no, but I'm saying like they if they had like the money, if like there was no like barriers or anything like
Oh yeah,
that.
of course.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
you saying that, I think, and it's so dumb. It reminded me of like Marvel, but let me explain. There was a part where Cam kind of comes to like realization that this accident was like one of the biggest events of her and her brother's life, and it
Mm-hmm.
really had no effect on Loic besides like a burn on
Yeah,
his
he was just
body. But like
he like
mentally,
him.
he like didn't even
Yeah,
think about it.
yeah. Because I think like it's a conversation with Kimmy where they're like, she says something about Cam says something about the accident. She was like, he like what, like she's like, what accident are you talking about? Like she like Kimmy is like his physio essentially
Yes,
slash like best friend. I looked at it as just like Lewis with
his
Angela
trainer.
type, yeah, relationship. So like her being just like, he doesn't, he like, I don't even know that. And then like all of a sudden like in Cam's mind she was just like, wait, he doesn't even think about it, and I'm over here like stressing so much about it.
It reminded me of Avengers when they like go into TVD and they just see all of the rocks, and like to them they're like office
Oh
paperweights.
my god, yes. And Loki, where yeah, the TVA, yes, and he's just like, oh
Yes,
yeah, we use it, they
TVA.
use it as paperweights. And Loki's
And
just
to
like,
also to like the Avengers, it was the biggest thing in the whole world, and like that was Cam
yeah.
with this like accident. Like this was a paperweight to Loic, and to her, it was the biggest event in her life that ruined everything. And
Mm-hmm.
I felt so bad, but I was like, damn, I'm really happy you got that point of view because
Mm-hmm.
the one she had was also so bleak in the sense that she never considered her brother.
Mm-hmm.
And she admits to it. She's like, I never
Mm-hmm.
considered your feelings. I just knew you've messed up.
Mm-hmm. And again, I get why she would, like, her understanding of like what her brother was going through and everything was blocked off because it's that anger she was like holding in.
Yeah.
Of she didn't get her fair chance. Her brother
Just a lot of
screwed it up for her.
resentment.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like they all need therapy at the end of the day.
They do family therapy specifically.
All family and it's each separate ones because but her again the growth that we like I saw in Cam was I really liked it because like the way I saw her at first was like way different from when I saw her in the end, where it's just like you grew, you changed, you learned. I like that.
I know. I remember when you first texted me that you didn't like her because of the pick me thing. I was already like halfway through the book, and I was like, no, you'll get over it. Like,
yeah,
because you end up liking her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, beyond like her family dynamic, like Loic, I think just had
Has
bigger
his
things
own.
going on to worry about than the car because his
Mhm.
mom is also not in the picture, and he has a
Mhm.
stepmom he barely talks to, and then a dad that is heavily hinted at being abusive. I'm not sure if she meant physically or just like vocally, but
Yeah.
either way, it was like hinting at abuse. So it's just also a very sad background, and it's interesting seeing how he's like. I think that's why he's such a problem solver.
Mhm.
Because he's like, well, my dad wasn't solving shit for me, but I could probably solve everything for everyone else. And then it's like low-key little people-pleasing, but not people-pleasing. He has to like you first.
It's a way
But-
to like make up for what he didn't get from his own
Exactly.
caregiver. Yeah.
That's what I think, at least.
Mhm. No,
Especially,
it
like,
makes complete
When you lose a
sense,
mom
yeah.
so young.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I could definitely see that. But I really liked how both of their backgrounds, kind of like other books we've been reading lately, that I really appreciate authors are like keeping this in mind. But you can really see like how all of their choices go back to the family dynamics they have, instead of the family dynamics just being like thrown to the side.
Yeah, exactly. It's more depth into it.
It really
No,
is.
I appreciated that. Yeah.
And then, like, speaking of depth, going back to the friends, I really liked how we got to see the friend dynamics grow between Kim and Kimmy, and then also her cousin Gavin.
I love Gavin.
He was so funny for pretending to be straight to see if Loic would get jealous. He's like, let me test this real quick.
Like he probably was using like a man's voice, like a true like deep, like
Deep
you know those
into it.
TikToks,
Yes.
TikToks where it's like acting like a straight guy, and it's just like, oh no, there's this one guy where it's like I'm a straight guy trying to flirt with like a Melanie. He's like Melanie.
That's exactly how I imagine Gavin.
That's exactly how, and I was just like dead because he was just.
He was just
Poor
a very
Loic.
good light character.
Yeah, Loic was just like, are you guys on a date? Like, and then the fact that Loic went and like paid for the dinner, and Gavin's like,
Crazy
come
work.
on, let's like keep it going. Like,
Imagine they were on a date and this man actually
Right.
paid for it. That would have been so embarrassing for the
so
man.
embarrassing. Like, what do you do at that point?
Like, oh, I'm so glad that guy paid for our dinner.
Like,
But I
silly.
really liked, I liked that he did that because he didn't know that was a gay cousin. He was just like,
yeah, I'm gonna
keep me
show
in the
up.
back of
Yeah.
your mind.
Right, exactly. I can take care of you.
And he can. The man has so much money. But I really liked it. And then I think one of the biggest things we have to talk about is the team.
Mm-hmm.
Their dynamic was so weird because at the beginning of the book, you can tell that this is just misogynistic, sexist. Maybe not the whole team, but it's definitely allowed within the team in the sense that, like, they're not going to argue with their hierarchy people if it's going to, like, stir the pot when they could just let it go and keep the team doing well because the team was doing well. So seeing us go from Tits McGee, which is her nickname, to her actual name, and then finding out that there's characters like Foghorn who got their name because they were allowed Hispanic, and he's like, actually, I don't like that name. Like, I'm just Steven. And they're like,
right.
Steven? Who's Steven?
Okay. Right. And he's like, please just call me Steven.
So I think it was so nice to see that, because this is the growth that I was talking about in the beginning of the book to the end. Like, that was because she set her boundaries, and then she set her boundaries, and everyone else was like, "Damn, we could do
You
that."
know what? Yeah. And then and then Steven was just like, you know what? Me too.
Yeah, because I mean that's another thing. Specifically, Foghorn
Oh, I
and
hated him so
Cam.
much at first.
Right, but I mean, we're meant to. He is literally the definition of misogyny and sexism. He doesn't think that she should be over the wall. Over the wall in this book specifically means like the teams that do the pit stops, and he doesn't think that she should be there because she's a tiny woman, and he doesn't think
She's
that
so
she should be working
small.
with. Yeah, like he doesn't think that her opinions are very valid because like, oh, you're like this
She's a
isn't your
girl.
thing. Like you're a
Yeah.
gearbox mechanic. That's it. Stick to your lane. And I did it. I hated him for so long. And then at the end, there's like a turning point where I do not think it makes up for everything he did, but I'm also like, okay, so I think you might have just been reacting out of like what you were receiving. So you were giving what you got, which is I'm Foghorn, so you're Tits McGee. Because if I get a
Right.
nickname, everyone else gets a nickname.
Right. And she probably didn't even like want to call him that.
She didn't. No.
Yeah.
I don't think she did because she kind of said in her head that like there was a lot of things the team would say, and she just in her head she was like, no. But she was also like, they're not going to listen
How can
to
you
me,
say
so I'm not
that?
gonna
Exactly.
say anything.
How are you able to express that? No. Totally get it.
So I don't know. But I kind of ended up liking him at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I get it. But the only thing that really threw me off, and I don't know if you thought this was weird too, but there is a section throughout the book where obviously our main characters get caught making out because that's what happens every book, and we love it. But this time, the team did like a really weird thing, which is like usually we see the teams help like cover it up or fix it. No, this team just made T-shirts that said "We support Mystery Gal" or something, and it was so weird and random to me. And okay, and again, me and Melissa are not in indie culture. From reading this book, I now understand it's much more like familial, I guess. But still really weird for you to like wear T-shirts supporting the Mystery Gal because you guys don't want to admit it's your mechanic, but you're kind of also making a joke. It was just really weird.
Yeah. The shirt thing, it was cute, but at the same time, I felt like it was like kind of like overkill for me. Like, yeah, because I know, like, for me, like, personally, I probably wouldn't want people to know, like, who I am and what team am I affiliated with, let alone work for. Like, I love that they supported her and, like, you know, they were like, yeah, like, we'll
for sure.
But it's just like, I feel like it could have been done, like, I don't know what else could have been done differently, but again, I'm just like thinking, I'm putting myself in like Cam's shoes where it's just like, I personally probably would hate life if they gave me a shirt that said Mystery Girl, and it's just like, what?
I don't really know how I would react. I think I'd be confused. I'd be like, what is the point of this?
Yeah, it's just
because it was Mel that did it, the marketing.
Yeah,
I don't know if she was like the lead or something, but basically she's the only one mentioned for the marketing team.
It was Loic's idea.
Yeah, it was Loic's idea, which I also don't get why that was his solution. I don't know, dude. This was the only part of the book that really threw me because I was like, I don't understand how we came to this being the solution.
I don't know. I have to be very honest. I don't know. I don't hate it. I'm just not too crazy about it.
That was the only one that kind of got me. And then I think what also made it interesting was like, they never really talk about it again. Like the T-shirt thing.
You know what? Now that you mention it, like, you're right though. Like, they never bring up that whole like mystery girl thing. Like, you know, usually like in other books, like usually like the guy would start calling her like his mystery girl or like
Yeah. That's
something
it.
like
It wasn't like a continuous cute nickname or
yeah,
anything.
exactly. So
I don't know. I thought that was funny.
yeah.
I think Mel was a really fun side character to have thrown into the
Mhm.
book, especially because I work in marketing, so that would have been me. But I think Kimmy ended up being my favorite, just because one, she was very blunt. I'm pretty sure her character is
Mhm.
supposed to be German, right?
I think so too, yeah. Or like Dutch or something like that. One of the two. No, she is
Dutch or
German.
German, right?
She is German.
Because I feel
Yeah.
like she went home or something for vacation, but whatever.
Yeah.
So I really loved her. I like that there's a storyline where for like a minute Cam thinks they're dating, and from the beginning I was like, they're not dating. Like,
They're definitely not.
girl.
No.
Because there's like a scene where he buys a book, Pride and Prejudice, because he wants to get to know her better because that's her favorite book. And Cam's here like questioning Kimmy, like, so did you like it? Did you like the book? And she's like,
I never
Kimmy's
read
like,
it.
Kimmy's like, what is that? I read Fight Club. First rule is you don't talk about it.
Right. And she's like, wait, I thought he got it. And she's like, girl, no.
Like, she's so funny in her quick little quips because she's just like,
Yeah.
you're a little dumb.
What kills
Basically,
me
the
about,
whole book,
like,
she's like, figure it out.
right. What killed me the most about the three, like the dynamic between like the three of them again, like it's so obvious that like her and Loic, Kimmy, and Loic are not like messing around. But Cam, like
No.
again, her little like inner monologue, she's like, whatever friends with benefits do. She was like, they're definitely at least friends with benefits. And I'm like,
She just saw a hot woman and was like, connection.
right. And at that point, I was like, if you just don't ask the damn woman what's going on, like I'm gonna jump in there and be like, are y'all like doing it or no? Because
I feel like there was really no instance where she should have thought they were doing it because like there was never really romance vibes. It was more like we
No.
just drink beer together
Exactly.
and get drunk. Which I do like obviously for their friendship, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think she just was very helpful in segueing Cam to like
Yeah.
standing up for herself one way, but also like pushing her to like figure it out because I think Cam was also just making excuses to not date Loic. Like she could not fathom that this Formula One driver now
Is actually
IndyCar
like
racer.
into her.
Yes, and she like pretended not to know him on the first day. She was trying to act all cool and stuff, and he's
Oh,
like, yeah.
that was some of like the pick me stuff where I was like, girl, if you don't just say hi to the man, like you don't have to like fangirl like the rest, but like standing there doesn't help out either.
What's funny is I liked how he called her out later, and he was like, "Yeah, you were just standing there like mad."
You're like, why were you mad?
She was like, "Oh, I thought I was being mysterious." She's like, "I didn't think you'd notice." And he's like,
The mystery
"Obviously."
girl. Right.
Shut up. It was the mystery.
Per girl.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. I ended up really liking their dynamic. I liked the
Mhm.
character growth for both of them. I
Same.
think Loic's family was interesting because I don't think we get a lot of insight into it. At
Just
least
a
in the sense,
stepmom.
yeah. Like I feel like that's the only really deep kind of view we get. And like I do like that they bring back Linda at the end. Linda being the stepmom
Mhm.
with the text for Mother's Day. Because that was such a nice moment that she took the advice.
Mhm.
She didn't have to. Louise tells her to like text her mom for Mother's Day because they haven't talked in ages, and I like that. I feel like that was a moment of her
Mhm.
finally kind of taking into control the issues that she had without him having
Mhm.
to be the one to do it. Because again, this is something he can't do, just like the team. She has to do it herself.
Mhm. Exactly.
So I really like that. Did he overstep by inviting the family later on in the book? Yes, but I think it
Yeah.
also had to be done.
Yeah.
So it's like a weird double-edged sword.
Yeah, double-edged sword. No, I completely agree. With that, I felt like it could have been handled a bit differently than how
Of
it
course.
was. I think it's just a time and place type situation, but you and I talked about this, and we just need to talk about it more. The part where Loic figures out who Cam really is.
Yeah.
Okay, so essentially what happens during this part of the book is they're bowling, right? That's what they were doing.
Was it bowling?
They were was it no, they
they're
were like in
go-kart
this
racing.
They're go-kart racing. That's what it is. Where did I come up with bowling? Oh my god. Anyways, they're go-karting, right? And then
It was for a work event.
yeah, so essentially like all the guys are doing it, like they're like, Cam, like come on, like, or they're essentially like, McGee, come on,
No,
blah,
they
blah,
were
blah.
also egging her on, saying we would go easy on her.
Yeah, and she was like, okay, of course, like they're gonna go easy on me. So like she goes and signs up. She doesn't think about it, so she actually puts her like actual real last name, Wexton. She kills it, obviously. Like she literally like leaves the guys
and the only
dust.
one that knew about her karting history was like the lead boss. No one else knew.
Because that's how she got the job in the thing where she didn't have the experience or like something.
She didn't have the degree.
Yeah, and then she was like, no, but like I can do like gearbox or something like that because I used to do that for like go-karts, which is like really cool. But so yeah, so he was the only one. So like essentially like she gets first, like she's like feeling all happy and everything like that, and then like she just like sees Loic looking at like the leaderboard and like sees his reaction, like her look, like him looking at her name, and she realizes like, okay, there's my name, and then like she sees like Wexford. She was like, my last name, and he was just, and then that's when he connects the dots that like that's his rival's sister. I forgot again his name, but essentially she was just like, he was just like, but he even like asked her like in the start, like early on in the book, like, do I know you from somewhere? Like he picked up that he, yeah, and she just lied again with her like mission interrogate avoid, like I don't know how many.
Oh, that was so funny. She kept giving herself missions.
That was
it's like mission
funny.
Avoid Loic, mission don't get caught running Loic, mission what is it, don't get caught kissing Loic.
Right, it was cute though. I actually did like that, but it was just like so like the drama behind, like all I could picture is just like kind of like him just like standing there, just like the realization, like
again the movie scene, like we always talk about,
the saxophone's getting louder essentially, and like her just being like, oh my god. Loved that, Elisabeth, you did your number with that. However, I think this is where I wish a dual point of view would have been really great, because like
to see what he was thinking in that moment.
Exactly. Yes.
Especially because we find out that like he doesn't even really hate the guy.
No. Exactly.
So I think it was just offended she lied.
It was essentially that was it, which I get, because like they've been together, like I mean, it's what I really liked about the book was like each chapter was just like X amount of days to Indianapolis 500, Indy 500, and so where was I going with that? I totally forgot where my
was it how many days it took them to get together, like the slow burn of it all?
I like totally forgot,
because this was a slow burn.
Oh my god,
really, like they don't kiss until
like the very end,
19, chapter 21.
Yeah,
it's like all the way at the end. So if you're expecting spice, this isn't it.
This is not it. But I do need to talk about Cam getting knocked out by a rogue tire. I'm sorry, it was just so funny to me.
I think what threw me off was it was so random. We had gone through the whole book without any accidents in this guy's first season of Indy 500, but you're telling me the first accident is her getting a tire to the face?
And she decides to save the guy
that was
like
always
the most sexist, misogynistic man ever.
Every bad name we can think of, truly.
And then when she wakes up, he's wearing a Teen Mystery Girl. That's the only time it's ever brought up again.
True. He's like, yeah, I'm on your side now. But it's like, I took a tire to the face for you to like me.
Right.
Okay. I guess.
But by the way, call me Steven.
I liked the growth with all of the team members. I do like that he was like to me, it made sense that he would be the last one to change because he was such an adamant, like his character seemed so adamant at who he was. So he was like, this is who I am, I'm an asshole, blah, 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 like, get over it. And by the end of the book, he's like, I'm actually a really nice guy.
And I go by Steven.
Which again, I think it is so funny that even the boss didn't know who he was. Because at some point, Loic tells talks to the boss. I can't remember his name right now. And he's like, "Oh yeah, and you have to do this with Steven." And he's like, "Who's Steven?" And the guy just looks at him like, "McGee?" Like, wait, I'm sorry, like Steven? Like, hello, like Foghorn?
Right.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, that guy." Is like that's Steven. How bad the nicknames was, and it makes me wonder if the general manager would refer to her as McGee when she wasn't in the room.
Right.
It seemed very ingrained, so I liked seeing it get out of there. I think it made the team healthier.
No, exactly. And I like the way the book had ended. Obviously, Loic
I only have to say something.
Go ahead.
You know that this is a beautiful fiction story when it is the guy's first year in Indy and he wins the Indy 500.
Of all races.
Of course. I'm sorry, that had me laughing. Like, what a way. What a way. But I really enjoy it.
She wakes up and he wins.
Yeah. Like, she wakes up, or was it that she asked, like, "Oh, did we win or something?" He was like, "We won." I don't remember now.
Yeah.
It was kind of cute.
I think it's something. I think she asked, yeah.
We also, throughout the last chapter, like I said, this is a very slow burn. We finally say "I love you." This is the last chapter of the book, and they're finally professing their love to one another. So, at least I think so. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it took so long for them to get there, which, again, I like that it's a slow burn. As Mel knows, I'm not really that, like, big into,
Spice.
What is it called? Smut. So, I don't really mind a slow burn. He also proposes at the end. I love when that happens. Okay? It was a year later.
I love a proposal.
That's good. That's appropriate.
I love a proposal.
I like that.
No, but I like too, but not only that, she went back to school and got her degree. And then so she's like assistant like manager or something like that. Yeah.
But I know
she's up there like she's not a mechanic anymore. So like she finished it out, which I appreciated that.
And Linda divorces his dad.
Mm-hmm.
That was also great. I still think the dad was probably abusive, so I'm really happy for Linda because it also created a new relationship for Loic, and I think he really needed something that was familial because it was not looking. Oh, and the brother gets a job. What a twist of events! I love that because he's no really longer down bad. Yeah.
I don't even want to say he was a bum. Yeah, it's not like he was a bum.
I think either. I think it was just an asshole.
Just. That, and I think just like he probably went in again. This is probably just me like over analyzing a fictional character, but he probably got into like a pretty deep depression where he just didn't feel motivated and everything. So like he was just on autopilot for so long. So, but I did like how he became like the talent scout for the team and everything. So it's just kind of like the way like the doors or like the loose ends were all like closed up. I really appreciated.
I think it needed. I'm sorry. I think what I really just liked about the ending was she also she also like had rebuilt her connection with her mom because throughout the storyline you could tell that like it really affects her that she's like just doesn't have that connection anymore.
Yeah. Like, so I need my mom type.
And it took was a Mother's Day message, truly. And all because Loic had convinced her to do it.
He literally was just like, just call her.
I really liked it. I really liked how simple like some of the solutions were for the storyline because like it doesn't always have to be this dramatic thing, you know? It could just be like a good text and conversation.
Yeah.
But it just didn't feel like a loose end. I love that.
Exactly. No, I agree.
It was good. But
no, it was a good book.
I really liked it. I think the only thing that I would have liked, because I really get your point of view in saying like there are just some scenes that I wanted to hear what he was thinking, is at least some kind of point of view for him. Like, you know, one time we read a book that it was like journal entries for the guy. Like we never got his point of view.
Yes.
Journal entries.
Yeah. That like something
I wish
like
there
that.
had been like something that we could have seen his point of view. I don't know.
Yeah. I think
there's just such pivotal moments where it would have been nice.
I was gonna say for like a storyline like this one, it definitely would have benefited, I think. Or a bonus chapter. I wouldn't mind a bonus chapter. Oh my god,
that would have been so good.
An idea.
I don't know. And I think another, I mean, this is not Louis. Well, maybe. Okay, I don't think this is Loic having like a white knight savior in this part, but I do like that he also kind of really helped with the relationship with the brother towards the end of the book because she, for some reason, like Cam, didn't really think that her brother talked about her like at these races. Like she didn't think that the brother really cared about her, and then she finds out that before the accident, all of these things happening, like her brother was constantly talking to everyone about her, even Loic, to like talk about how proud he was of her when I think
Like
she
she would be winning stuff.
when she won the championship or something.
Yeah, like the nationals or something like that. He was like, yeah, your brother was like ecstatic.
So I also think it was nice because I guess that's kind of like really the most close we're gonna get to getting his point of view is just he was so open with Cam when it came to experiences that he had with her brother because she really thought it was like end all for him. He was like, no, like, yeah, your brother did me dirty, but actually, I'm fine. And I think that's a piece of the puzzle she needed to like start forgiving her brother.
Yeah, she needed that. Yeah, she needed that closure from that situation from Loic, like that, like you said, that little missing piece to get that closure and move on from that, and then kind of just rebuild.
Which I understand.
Her. Yeah,
the guy got disfigured, so like she thought it was a much bigger. Not disfigured. He's not disfigured. He has like a burn on his arm. I mean, you know what I mean. His face was fine. So like I guess in her head it was just such a bigger thing than really it had to be at the end of the day because it could have just been a conversation. I don't know. I think I agree with you. Like the brother was just so depressed. Like maybe that's what he needed. And she was just so angry she didn't even think of it.
Yeah, and again, like she was also like right to be so upset about the whole because of his stupid decision, she lost out on so many opportunities.
What's crazy it was like what an impulsive decision to make. A crazy one too, because he could have hurt himself really bad.
And like I think if she even said so, or like he even said so, one of the two, where if her brother hadn't like essentially like confessed or like owned up to like him doing it on purpose, like the FIA or whatever, we're gonna like rule it as like a racing incident. Like they were both just gonna like walk essentially free
away
from it. But he didn't. So
maybe it was weighing on him that he did it too. I don't know.
Yeah. It's just always it's like one of those situations where it's like a what if thing and there's like a million paths.
Yeah. I think Loic was very healing for her. Like I'm sure she helped him too, especially with the stepmom thing, but I feel he really helped her more. Because her situation was just so much more current. And then my favorite line from the whole book was him calling her his Sunday puzzle.
Yes, that was... Yeah, because essentially she talks... Yeah, oh my God, that was so cute how it's like a word cross puzzle. She doesn't... It's like from the New Yorker and the Washington... I think it's the New York Times, but essentially...
Yeah.
Starts
she does that every day.
Monday. Every day. On Monday, it's like the easiest, and as the days go on, it gets difficult, and essentially as it gets more difficult, less people do it. So she's like,
and she considered herself a word puzzle. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's like, I'm a Sunday puzzle. And when he said that, that was cute.
I really liked that. I feel like their relationship was so wholesome. It was just so genuine. Nice to read. Yeah. Like, it was really just trying to help each other as much as they could in whatever way they could figure it out.
Exactly.
Because she didn't even like him and she was running with him because she was like, well, if it's going to help.
Right. And she was like, if my boss already said I can, I guess so.
Let's go.
The poor girl's like, the faster I run, the faster. Like, she's like, the less we talk.
And then what's funny is all she did was train him to be able to keep up with her. And literally, she realizes like halfway through, she's like, oh, I pushed too much. Like, I cannot go past him now.
Right.
But it was really good. Honestly, I think if I were to rate this book, it would probably be one of the highest ones we've had in a while because I would give it like a 4.50, 4.75. There was no loose ends. Everything cleared up so well. I understood what I was reading, which is very hard to do when I'd have no knowledge of Indy. I liked how she described all the races. Obviously, I can't tell you if it's realistic or not because I don't watch Indy, which I think is maybe the only downfall of us reading these books. Like, we can't tell you how much of it is accurate or not. But to me, everything sounded really good. So I'm just gonna believe that's all how it works.
Yeah, no, yeah, like a 4.25. Just like little thing. Again, it's things just me being me. Um I like a slow burn, but this was like an extreme slow burn, so I could have scooted it up a little bit. I don't need like a bunch of smut, but I
No, I
just
get it.
give me a bit more. But again, for me knowing absolutely like nothing about Indy, I liked it.
Yeah.
I
If
definitely like I would give it a shot, honestly. Like
me too.
it's like it's the setting of the story and all that stuff. In the course, like the whole premise is around the Indy 500 and like counting down, but like there's stuff that goes on outside of the track.
I think I
Which
just
was
really liked how she described every week or
yeah,
week event and how everything would
yeah,
go.
yeah.
It sounds to me like if you're a fan, that's really the best experience you're gonna have as a motorsport
It
fan.
sounds like so much fun.
It's to me it sounds like everything is fan focused.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I definitely want to go. I definitely want to go support McLaren Arrow. So this book, I think,
I mean,
very much
there's one
helped
in
push that.
there's a race in DC, but it's DC.
There's one in Florida. If you want to do a little St. Pete action. But I will say,
we'll talk to Meg.
we know this is different. It's not F1 focused. I still think it's an amazing book if you are an F1 fan, especially if you're kind of interested in Indy. So take your shot with it.
Yeah, I agree. I found it enjoyable. I like flew through this. I read it like in
Dude,
like
me too.
3.5 days, and I haven't read a book that fast in a very long time.
I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
I very much enjoyed it. I'm very happy.
Well, I do want to say thank you so much to Elisabeth. She's the author of this book. She wrote an amazing one. It's called Overtaken, just in case you guys didn't hear the title at the beginning. And Overtaken is out everywhere. You can either buy it online as an ebook or you can get it at your local bookstore. And if you can, shop local and small. We do want to say we absolutely loved it over here, and we hope you guys take a chance to check it out. Again, we know it's not Formula One related, but as an IndyCar book and someone that knows nothing about it, we both had a great time reading it.
Do it.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and follow us. We are at Radio Check You there on Instagram, YouTube, Threads, and TikTok. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.